Hi, welcome to our podcast, Lecture Space Gate Communism. That's the name for right now. I'm here with Variola and Droid Noise. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hello, my name is Troy Noise or Mateo. I am from South Texas.
Hi, I'm Variola. I'm from Europe, and we were talking how basically every Democratic president sucked before we started recording. So we're going to recap what we were saying. Basically, the theory or premise is that everyone except LBJ and FDR, all the Democratic presidents are ass still. So starting with Biden, I remember that Biden, during Clinton years, Biden was the one that was pushing criminal reform of the criminal justice. 3 strikes and you're out. Kyle is going to correct me. And that during Obama's presidency, Biden was the conservative part of the presidency inside the Democratic Party, Democratic Caucus. So, Americans, are you going to fill me? Are you going to correct me or fill in?
Yeah, exactly. Because like Biden's whole thing was he's been in Congress and Senate for so long, he can work with Republicans and get like deals done because he's so centrist. But he thought. Oh, my favorite thing is he thought the Republicans would change after Trump, and Trump was an aberration, but Trump is just like the full Republican Party. Because like the Republicans became even more right wing as the Democrats moved to the right. Because Obama was his whole policy was based on Romney's. So the Obamacare is based on Romneycare in Michigan. Like that, the whole Obamacare is a Republican free market idea. Like during the 70s, fucking Nixon blocked universal health care when they had the votes for it. Both houses, the Senate and the White House. So fuck Nixon. No, Nixon, I mean Jimmy Carter. Nixon also blocked it too. Nixon actually had a more left-wing policy than Obama did for healthcare.
I know that Eisenhower wanted to enact it because after the war, healthcare systems were coming alive in Europe. And they were like, oh, we're going to do it too, eventually.
Yeah, like Carter got primaried by by one of the Kennedys, and almost lost to him because Carter did not want to do healthcare reform, and Kennedy was pushing it. So Kennedy died before Obama did it, and like that was like his whole accomplishment or whatever. Like Obamacare. Fucking, you have Joe Lieberman fucking watered that shit down even more, made it more right wing. So pretty much, Clinton ran as a centrist conservative or Democrat. So did Carter. So like LBJ was like the last true like left wing economic, even social justice Democrat. He had the whole war on poverty. He passed the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act. The only thing that takes LBJ's legacy is the Vietnam War, which we shouldn't have been fighting in the first place. That was fucking dumb as hell. And that's pretty much the only reason why everyone hates LBJ. But his domestic policies are pretty great. He created Medicare. He did a lot of anti-poverty laws, and like he ended up getting cut by Reagan and others later. Like the whole social internet it started in America by FDR and it was expanded by LBJ.
Didn't LBJ, like, am I misremembering this? Didn't LBJ have like, I don't have a political mandate from the masses, so I don't really care what about re-elections and so on. I'm going to do me. Wasn't he like that, or?
Pretty much, yeah. And you know, what's funny too is like when LBJ became president, a lot of Black civil rights activists were like, "We'd rather have LBJ than fucking Kennedy because it's better to have a Southerner on your side who switched sides than a fucking northerner who's a piece, like a weak-willed northerner. Because like LBJ is the one who got the Civil Rights Act passed and like voting rights. Like Kennedy didn't do shit.
And where does Obama come into all of this? He was from Chicago.
He was from Hawaii. He lived in Chicago for a little bit because his wife was from Chicago. He was like a
Politically, he was home in Illinois.
yeah,
or no?
Yeah, because he was like a canvasser and like community organizer, and he got like a congressional seat. Then he won the Senate, and then he became president. And, like his political legacy in Chicago in general he didn't have one, so no one really knew what he was about. He ran as like a left-wing Democrat, but then he governed as a fucking moderate Republican. Like the whole the Democrats are commie socialist shit has never been true. Except for one guy during the fucking FDR presidency who ran as a progressive candidate and was FDR's fucking vice president before Truman. Dude was probably, I think he was almost, if I remember correctly, he was basically a socialist. So the conservative wing of the Democrats pushed him out for Truman. Oh yeah, Truman desegregated the army.
Wait, army was segregated in World War One, in World War Two?
Yeah, it was.
What the fuck? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
It wasn't desegregated until 48.
I know there was discrimination, like they would dishonorably discharge non-whites.
All the time.
I mean, is it still happening or no?
I don't think so anymore. Now they just target gay people.
Not even that. They don't care if you're gay either.
Yeah, since it's voluntary based, they need as many people as they can. Okay, so because of resistance to the Army's treatment of black soldiers, military leadership began to attempt to address the issue in 1943, but segregation in the armed forces remained official policy until 1948.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like Tuskegee Airmen were their own thing. They weren't mixed
Kind of
unit.
funny because they were better pilots because they had so much training because they didn't want to use them. The U.S. government prohibited black soldiers from being stationed in the U.S. base and Keflavik, Iceland until the 1970s and 80s due to requests from the Icelandic government. Holy shit.
Sounds about right.
What the fuck's wrong with Iceland?
I mean, they were but they were pretty racist. That's what's wrong with it.
Yeah, like a lot of Nordic country in Eastern Europe, places are racist as fuck.
There's an interesting story about Iceland, about the first black guy who moved to Iceland, and basically all his descendants, they trace them.
Doesn't Iceland hold a thing where like everyone's like they have like a massive database to see everyone's who's related to? Because like they're very worried about incest in Iceland.
I know that they had like I heard that story as well, but apparently it's a myth.
Okay.
But it would make sense that because it is a small population, that they are more related than more populous countries.
In 1951, the U.S. Icelandic Defense Agreement paved the way for the U.S. A permanent U.S. military presence on the Keflavik base and an outpost that played a crucial role in the U.S. strategy during the Cold War. The article explores two gender-related aspects of the U.S. Icelandic Cold War relationship: the restriction of on off-base movements of U.S. soldiers and the secret ban imposed by the Icelandic government on stationing of black U.S. troops in Iceland. These practices were meant to protect Icelandic women and to preserve a homogeneous national body. Although the U.S. officials repeatedly tried to have the restrictions lifted, the Icelandic government refused to modify them until the racial ban was publicly disclosed in late 1959.
Okay, I found the guy, the Danish black guy. So he was born in Danish West Indies and then ran away to Iceland in like early 19th century, and they traced all his descendants that still live in Iceland. It's interesting story. But yeah, but to return to the presidents, I know that Nixon is the second most environmental president, or first, depending on the list, because EPA was he's doing. He founded the EPA.
It's funny because Teddy Roosevelt founded the National Park System and was environmental regulations and like workplace regulations as well.
Both like the most environmental presidents are otherwise the most horrible.
Well, Teddy Roosevelt is like considered a progressive before like the party switched.
Wasn't Teddy Roosevelt like the
An
biggest
imperialist. Yes.
Yeah.
He literally fought in a war to conquer Cuba and Spain from Spain.
No, but even when he came to the office, like that was before his office, right?
Yeah, it was.
And then yeah. And
Yeah,
then when he didn't wait, what did he do? He also did some shit ton of imperialism.
the whole I think it was the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very heavily involved in like Latin America.
Also, like today, he wouldn't be considered environmentalist by a long shot, with his safaris and so on.
He was only an environmentalist because he loved hunting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he had his own party. He split from the Republicans.
Yeah, the bull moose.
Yeah. And he was also like anti-worker.
He broke up the big trusts and like monopolies. But yeah, he also sided a lot with corporate, like the businesses and like anti-labor strikes.
Yeah.
I think he sent the army to one of the strikes, to break up one of the strikes. Yeah.
But Teddy Roosevelt, he's in normal air quotes. He's glorified.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
I mean,
He has a whole bear named after him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, we call it Teddy here as well. So
Yeah, literally a bear's named after him. Like.
different people. I mean, the different groups of people see different presidents differently. I know that, like, it's a joke when you watch American movies that, like, a black person would have a Reagan's picture in their home, and that would be considered funny or something. Like, does this apply across other presidents as well, or no?
Generally speaking, most people there's like a list of that people agree on who are like the best and worst presidents, and like it's usually there's one. So Andrew Johnson's usually ranked as one of the worst presidents, and then FDR, Lincoln are usually ranked as one of the best. And for some reason, Kennedy's always usually pretty high. That's just because he died in office.
No, he was charming. Everyone loves Kennedy. Like, my English teacher adored Kennedy, and I knew that like his Cuban crisis response was horrible. Like he was basically wanting to go to nuclear war.
He also stepped up involvement in Vietnam.
And he invaded Cuba as well. Like he was really disingenuous, but he was charming. Also, maybe they like him here as well because he was now not the only one anymore, but he was back then he was the only Catholic president.
True, yeah. He was the only Catholic president for a long time.
But he was charming. He had a interesting mistress and so on, so people like him. Even though he treated Marilyn Monroe as shit too. But this is not policy. This is interpersonal things.
All the worst people tend to be okay. There's like a theory that a lot of people like fucking Winston Churchill, a terrible person. People like FDR, terrible person. People like Kennedy, terrible person, and like they're all like considered a great. They're just considered like great people or whatever in general, for like no reason.
I saw a clip today of Winston Churchill, and he's holding some speech, and the crowd is yelling, "We want labor! We want labor!" And then he tries to use his charisma to make fun of the people that are yelling at him, and he wasn't that successful. That was basically the whole clip. It's funny. Basically, Churchill wasn't popular at all. Like after the war, he wins the war, and they vote him out of the office, and they elect the least charismatic guy. But they liked his policies. They wanted NHS. They wanted healthcare, and they voted in Labour.
It's funny because the only one who survived after World War II for presidents-wise was Stalin.
Oh yeah, he lived 10 more years.
Yeah, so like FDR didn't see the end of the war, then like Churchill gets voted out.
I mean, that's they taught us that in school. Like you have, I don't know, Yalta conference, whatever, and then you have FDR. I don't know these conferences. I'm not that into World War II history. You have FDR, Churchill, Stalin, and then you have 6 months later you have another conference, and then it's Truman, whoever was the Labour Prime Minister of Britain, and Stalin, and they taught us in history, oh, totalitarianism bad. Like these democratic societies working, but Stalin, he's still on, he's still in power. And now when I think about it, like FDR, he basically walked over the unwritten part of the constitution, having only 2 mandates. He didn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
He
He had
didn't care.
4.
Like pretty anti-democratic president. Basically, he had to die. If he could have been elected 5 times, he would do it. He didn't care.
He would have keep going.
Yeah, but he died.
And they had to wait until he died to change the constitution because they would have been able to do it with him still alive.
Like the opposition wanted, like even his own party wanted him out, right?
Yeah, they did.
So, but they couldn't do it because, and they teach us like, oh, the triumph of the democracy. No, bullshit. Who's the? Isn't no Miliband is the new one. What's the name of the? Ah, never mind. Of the British PM.
I didn't even know when.
Yeah, Clement Attlee. Yes. No. No, Clement Attlee was the before Anthony Eden. I don't even know. Wait. No. This is some random guy.
Oh, Churchill came back for got elected again as um, prime minister, and from 51 to 55.
Yeah, but who was after? Like that's the
Oh, before the period. Yeah, Clement Attlee was in the
yeah.
period between.
I know the tankies hate him. Like he wasn't really anti-imperialist. He was like true social democrat.
His government had a Keynesian approach to economic management, aiming to maintain full employment in mixed economy and greatly enlarge the social services provided by the state. To this end, he nationalized public utilities, major industries, implemented wide-ranging social reforms, including the National Insurance Act, National Insurance Act, NHS in 1948. He enlarged the public subsidies for council housing. His government reformed trade union legislation, working practices, children's services, and created the National Park System. Passed the Towns New Act in 1946 and established the town and country planning system. Yeah, like literally, yeah, the dude after Churchill's the one who added all of this social democracy to fucking UK, and he lost to Churchill.
Like I don't know a lot about. I mean I don't even know the names. I know Eisenhower, like in the 50s, 60s.
It goes FDR, Truman, Eisenhower, then Kennedy, then it goes LBJ, then it goes Nixon, Carter, Reagan, Clinton, oh wait, I forgot. No, it's Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Clinton, George W. Bush, Obama, Trump, then Biden.
Oh, I basically knew. I thought there was someone in between Eisenhower and Clinton. No, Eisenhower and Kennedy.
No, it was Nixon was Eisenhower's vice president, and he lost to Kennedy.
Yeah, the famous TV gray suit, first presidential TV debate or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, it was, and people disagree whether or not it actually had an effect on the election.
Yeah, because how many people actually own TVs?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but like newspapers wrote about it after.
Yeah, people would read the newspaper.
Yeah, so I mean, it would have some impact because journalists watched it and then they wrote it in the newspapers.
Yeah, that would have had more of an effect than the actual debate itself, because people would have got their opinions from the journalists.
I mean, same as today.
Exactly.
And Eisenhower did, like, I know he wanted. Did he have any social reforms or except military? No.
So during Eisenhower's administration, the Supreme Court struck down. Okay, so it did Brown versus the Board of Education desegregated the schools, and Eisenhower had to send in the army to protect the black kids going into the white schools.
Yeah, but okay, that's on him. But the court, who were the judges?
I I think they were actually some of them might have been. Okay, let me see. I know one of them was like an. I know Eisenhower got super pissed at one of his judges because that judge ended up becoming super liberal, and he like was fucking angry about it. I don't remember who it was though.
Because basically, Supreme Court justices, they're like ghosts. You finish your presidency, but they remain on.
Yeah, so the Chief Justice was Earl Warren, and he was appointed by Eisenhower, and he ended up being one of the most liberal Supreme Court justices. He's the one who voted, helped struck down Loving versus Virginia, which ended the ban on interracial marriage. I know he was also a part of the decision to end the death penalty as well. Like he was like one of the most liberal judges in American history. He was very based.
What
So
about
Republicans, what?
William Douglas? Wasn't he also a liberal?
I think so. That's the one I know about because the Republicans are super mad about him and bring him up every time Republicans have nominated a Supreme Court justice. No, they're always afraid they're going to end up accidentally appointing someone who's going to end up being super liberal.
So they get Conahue and other goals.
Yes, exactly.
Basically, the most horrible people with law degree you can find.
They're like, we're never again allowing someone to become liberal on the Supreme Court. Yeah, conservatives are always paranoid.
There are cases of people turning conservative when they
No.
get a post.
Usually people become more liberal or more moderate. Like a lot of Reagan's one of Reagan's appointees, the first female appointee, she was from Arizona. I don't remember her name anymore. She ended up
I
becoming
think
left wing. Yeah, it was 9-0 Board of Education, Brown versus Board of Education that ended segregation. Yeah, he was in the Supreme Court until 1974. He was like one of the most liberal Supreme Court justices ever. Yeah.
if I was doing U.S. law, I would take one big piece of paper, mark out years, and so I can. While I was doing U.S. constitutional law, I would so I could always know who was sitting on on the Supreme Court at the exact year. I think it's Kennedy. I think she's still alive, or was. Like she went to she retired early or something like that. The
It
first
wasn't
female.
Kennedy. Kennedy was the other dude. It wasn't her name wasn't Kennedy. I don't remember her name. She's still alive though. Sandra Day O'Connor.
Yeah, something Irish. I'm racist against Irish people. Sorry.
Yeah, she was in the Supreme Court until June until 2006. She was nominated by Reagan.
What's happening with the abortion with Roe v. Wade?
It's not.
They
So I don't think we'll learn about that in the summer because that's usually when Supreme Court cases all the judgments and rulings come out. Oh yeah, so speaking of that, the federal Circuit 6 Supreme federal court in the Sixth Circuit allowed Biden's vaccine mandate to go through for businesses.
Well, I'm actually before I would applaud it, but now I'm not applauding it, and here's why. Like I'm outside of this, I'm complete militant vaxxer. Everyone should get vaxxed, but it should be done differently because they're walking over labor law by making it via employers. Employers shouldn't be one making people get vaccinated. It should be the state. And the state should bear the responsibility in the cases of, because not all vaccines are perfect, and if something happens, and it is the state that is making you get vaccinated, state should be responsible.
I think their thing is they're like, so the state can't, they're like, what is the state gonna do to force people to get vaccinated? Like, you're gonna have to get vaccinated or what? You can't have a job or something, or you have to like pay extra taxes, or you're gonna go to
Yeah.
jail.
I mean, the state is forcing people to have a Medicare, like Obamacare, whatever. Like it
Actually,
was.
not any, yeah, for a while, and then like,
I mean, so it's possible. Like get healthcare, or you pay how much was it? $1,000 fine or something.
first it was like it increased every year, then it was based on like your income.
So it should be like that too. Get vaccinated or pay some symbolic, but not so symbolic fine. Like I think in Austria it's going to be 200 euros something, so $300.
Yeah, then Trump removed the healthcare mandate, so the fee is $0 now.
Yeah, I know that. Sad.
Exactly.
But actually, it was a good political move by Trump because a lot of people hated that.
Yeah, they did. He also couldn't remove anything else. Oh yeah, he also removed the Cadillac tax or whatever on it, like the expensive healthcare plans.
But people hated that if he removed anything else, they because they love everything else about Obamacare.
Yeah, the subsidies, the whole like it requires your employer to pay for your birth control and like that sort of stuff and like everything.
In here, like in France, all women under 25 are going to get the birth control. So that's good.
Exactly, it should be free and easy to use if you really hate abortion.
Yeah, I mean it probably, like if you do the calculation, it probably pays itself if you have like if you can use pills for free instead of going and doing abortion. That's free. So they probably did calculation, then they concluded that by giving out these pills, they're going to save the money. Save some money.
Cheaper.
So yeah.
Was there anything you want to talk about droid noise? You're just like sitting there in silence.
Just listening to y'all.
How do you feel about abortions? You're from Texas.
I mean, it's a women's right. It's not. I don't think a government should tell them what to do with their body. No, pretty sure it's a life-saving thing. Not all women want to get pregnant. That's for sure. Some have to actually have abortions if they have a miscarriage or complications. So it's really fucked up that these politicians think they have the right to tell a person what they do with their own body when it's just like a religious thing, when not everybody's religious and they're just doing it for selfish reasons. They think it's like a life when it isn't.
People tend to talk about personhood and like if it's really a person or not, and it's like it's not a person, it's a fucking lump of cells.
Yeah, it's just a clump of cells. It's not gonna fucking be a doctor or any of that. It's not gonna grow up to be some big movie star. Just let the thing die.
And also, abortions are good for society because after abortion became legal, within like a generation, crime went down to like historic lows because all the unwanted babies didn't get born to become criminals. And women were allowed to finish going to school and college and improve their own education and financial situation where they could actually have kids when they were able to and could support them financially and like or ready for it. Like abortions are good for society.
But these Republicans, they're going to give birth and then put it up for adoption. That's what Republicans say.
Yeah, but most people don't get adopted.
So it's but then it's going to be burden on the state. Do they think about it? I mean, or
Yeah,
no?
they want to remove. They think they're gonna have the state not deal with these kids, and these kids are gonna become criminals and get molested and raped in these homes,
Fuck.
and then be unloved and become little psychopaths.
How do financially conservative people deal with these socially conservative people when they inside the Republican Party? Do they speak
They get
about it?
Okay, so what they do is they run on conservative cultural issues, then proceed to ignore those cultural issues after they
Yeah,
win.
but they're not, they didn't do it with abortion, and it's
No,
going to.
they
Like-
did for a while. Then they realized they couldn't keep ignoring it.
Yeah, but legalizing abortion is going legalizing criminalizing is going to cost the state of Texas a bunch of money, probably. I mean, not probably, for sure.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be a massive pain in the ass. But it mostly so abortions. So I think it's about equal now that like poor women and richer women both get abortions, but it's going to have more of a negative consequence on poor women because they can't go to another state or somewhere to get an abortion or order like the pills online safely. And they act like abortions are like this horrible like medical procedure, but no, it's usually just a pill you take twice.
That's the if you do it early.
Yeah, if you do it early. Most women do it early.
I mean, not only just that, like you're going to force people to have like here I know like if the fetus is disabled or so or the birth is going to because of the shape of the fetus or whatever, I don't know, I'm not a gynecologist, but then they abort it just in case, like if it's going to like if the fetus is disabled and then it's going. And yeah, I don't know. Should I talk about this? This is some deep shit.
Yeah, I remember reading somewhere that it says Iceland, like they abortions are really common in Iceland, especially for like Down syndrome. So people are afraid like all the Down syndrome babies are just going to disappear from Iceland.
I mean, I think they already disappeared from Iceland. I mean, it's
Yeah, they did. It's
and
like a
also
couple.
another thing about Down syndrome is I think 70% of all Down syndrome births die. So it's horrible for future mothers to basically they go give a birth and then the baby dies after.
Then if the baby lives, they have all these other issues going on, and it's very difficult to take care of these types of kids. And
I
like
mean,
a lot
that
of
is
people can handle it.
this is also a problem. Like you giving a birth, carrying all the whole pregnancy, only baby to die, and you know there is a high chance that it will die.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard on people mentally.
And physically as well. Like giving birth is not easy.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So yeah.
Do you think they should be? Do you think people should be allowed to have abortions based on medical issues of the fetus?
Of course. Like you shouldn't
Yep.
force people to take care of disabled children if they don't if they can't. Like I don't know if I would be able to take care of a disabled child.
There is this thing I was reading a while ago, and this woman was talking about her experience with her disabled son. So she was like, first, God took the son I wanted, and then God never gave me the son I wanted, and God took the son I loved when her disabled son died.
I'm not religious, so yeah, but Down syndrome is like one of the well, not the easiest, but it is one of the easier disabilities a child can have. Like you can get much more worse things. So yeah, really dark topic. We should return to vaccination. Like I wanted to say making employers make you vaccinate is bad, because it's walking over your already non-existent labor rights that are getting decreased. So it's the mandate is good, but the way they're doing it is bad, and it wouldn't achieve what you want to achieve with vaccination, which is the most, like, you want everyone to get vaccinated, like 95%, 90%, something like that, and you're only going to vaccinate people that work. So people outside of the employment, like children, old people, they're not going to get vaccinated. And you're going to have employers that are like, I'm a big anti-vaxxer, I don't want to vaccinate people.
They get fined.
Oh, they'll get fined.
Yeah.
So here the fining is not a problem. We're going to fine these people, but we cannot fine individuals.
Yes.
And this is the business-friendly government. Doesn't make any sense, but okay, whatever. I know some big CEOs had meltdowns, like Ryanair, like it's a big aircraft carrier here in Europe. The CEO of Ryanair had a meltdown about idiots not wanting to vaccinate and so on. So that's funny. They only started caring when they saw that they're going to lose a bunch of money.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's it. It's midnight here, and they're putting more fireworks for the second day of the new year.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy day of the new year for me, I guess. Oh yeah, a happy new year for all the listeners. But so where I'm staying, there was a bunch of fireworks last night, and people were like, check the air quality. So air quality jumped from 150 to 700 and something.
Oh shit.
Mainly from the fireworks. Like maybe people were using a little bit more fuel to heat their places because they're not sleeping, they're staying up. But fireworks, not so good for the air quality.
Do you think we should ban fireworks?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, for me too. But you cannot only like ban it in a city. You need to ban it nationally, or in Europe you need to do it on European level, because you're just going to get people skipping border to buy fireworks.
So that's like how it was in America. So like in my state, fireworks are actually banned, except like yeah. So until recently, there was only fireworks during like New Year's and like for certain times of the year, but they're like banned all the other times. And then like you couldn't really get personal fireworks until like a couple years ago.
You can now.
Yeah, you can now. They legalized it.
I know in France fireworks are banned or something, and people don't care about it. But in Germany, in the Netherlands, here, like if they would, in Eastern Europe, if they would ban it, people would be really upset.
Maybe go hop the border.
Like in Slovenia, there are like small fireworks, like petards, or I don't know how do you say it in English. Firecrackers, yeah. Firecrackers are banned, but you have smugglers. You can buy it illegally from people. They smuggle it from Czechia or something. I don't know. But fireworks, I think municipalities buy them and fire them and so on. I actually didn't spend New Year's in my country, in Slovenia, for a really long time. Like I would always go somewhere. Yeah.
I'd usually so there'd be fireworks in like a park nearby, and I just go outside and like look. Then get bored and go back inside during like New Year's and like 4th of July.
Are there more fireworks for 4th of July or for New Year's?
4th of July because it's like warmer outside and
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that's it. Maybe say our goodbyes for the podcast, or
yeah.
no?
Yeah, it's thanks for listening. You can join our Discord. Links in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, give us money, I guess.
Droid Noise.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Sorry, we didn't have that much to say.
It's fine.
We'll pick a better topic next time, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Goodbye.